Hello everyone, Professor Thompson here. I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk about a few items leading up to our second IAI presentation in our internet course. The first thing I want to mention is that I posted a video in the video announcement section where I voiced over the rubric document for the upcoming Musical Me speech. It was about a 14-minute video where I outlined each of the criteria that you will be evaluated on. So that might be something that you want to look at as you finalize and put the finishing touches on your presentation. I hope that you find that one helpful, but I personally find that sometimes it's nice to see exactly how you're going to be evaluated for a presentation. Okay. The next thing that I want to mention is that we do have another meeting date coming up next week, so it's another opportunity for you to come and deliver your second required presentation face-to-face. If you are not going to be there, I need to know with at least 48 hours advance notice. Please let me know that you're not coming as much as you possibly can. Some of you might have some last-minute things, but for the most part, I think you know at this point whether or not you will be there or you will not. If you are not going to be there, you need to remember that you have to adhere to the IAI state standards, which means you have to have an audience of 8 or more people who are 16 years of age or older in the audience. You have to shoot unedited video. You have to include your audience in that video before your presentation. You have to deliver that message in a professional setting, which really means you can't be giving it in your house, in your bedroom. You can't deliver it sitting in front of a webcam. That's not a professional setting. You are not adhering to the IAI standards. If you don't meet those standards, I will not evaluate your presentation because you are not meeting the minimum requirements for the speech. Additionally, you need to realize if you're not coming to class on that given day, your video still must be posted on that day by the deadline. And that's not negotiable either. These presentations are items that you've known about. The deadlines have not been hidden from all of you. So you want to make sure that you know that when it comes around to our deadline days, your assignments, your videos, your things are due. That's probably a really good transition point to mention all of the modules and quizzes that occurred between the first meeting and now, which will be our second meeting. All of those modules and quizzes are due. So please make sure that if you need to finish up some of those, you get those done this weekend or on Monday leading up to our next presentation. The speaking order will, for Monday, will be on a first come, first serve sign up basis. So I had accidentally posted something in our announcements that was not meant for you. It was meant for another class, so I apologize. But for this upcoming presentation, the Musical Me speaking order will be determined as you come to class. You can sign up for the position that you want on the whiteboard in front of you. So that's that. I got a couple very specific Musical Me speech announcements now. So as you finalize and put your finishing touches, here are a few things that you should really think about. 1, make sure that you coordinate with someone to play your music for you. As you speak, when you do choose to put your presentation or put your music into your message, you should have somebody else hit play and stop for you. I want you focusing on delivering a solid speech. There is a function or a button in Blackboard on the left-hand side that says send email. And if you hit send email, it will give you an option to select or single out your classmates. And then you can choose out who you want to email. There's also another function that allows you to email the entire class. So you could do that. One final step is some people wait until class if you're coming to campus to deliver your speech. And then you can ask somebody then and coordinate very quickly before we get going what needs to happen. It's very simple, very easy. We will have a an ability to play off of a USB drive. If you want to bring in a USB drive, plug it into the computer. You can play the music off of YouTube, but if you read the requirement sheet clearly, we're not watching anything. So we're not going to watch the music video, but you can play it off of YouTube and we won't be watching anything. We'll have the screen blacked over. You can play off of an iPod, an MP3 player, a smartphone. These are other methods that oftentimes work when we do this presentation. The next thing that I want to mention about the Musical Me is about your preview statements and your summary statements. I may have mentioned something about this on the rubric video that I posted, but when it comes to your introductions, you've got 3 steps of an introduction. I'm looking for you to use an attention-grabbing strategy. These are talked about in your textbook, whether it's asking a question or using a personal narrative or incorporating your audio aid. But you're grabbing the audience's attention, first step. Second step, you are introducing who you're speaking about. What is your artist? What is your song? And are you connecting it to a specific moment or whatever it might be, person? And then the third step is that preview statement. All of your preview statements for all of you as students will sound somewhat similar for this speech. It's a topical presentation, so you'll be saying something to the effect of that you are going, today I'm going to be talking about the artist, the background of the artist, some thematic elements and details about the lyric itself, and I'm going to be sharing how this song connects to a moment in my life or how it connects to a characteristic I have in my life, which is whatever, right? And you're going to name it. And that's your preview statement. From that statement, you jump into the body of your speech. We should have 3 clear, distinct points, and I've broken those points down as to the details I'm looking for in each body point in the requirement sheet. Make sure, and here's the other kind of inner working detail for the body of your speech, make sure we as an audience know when you are moving from one body point to another. So at the conclusion of your first body point, give us an indication, a bridging idea that says, now that I've informed you of the background of the artist and some information about how he wrote the song, let's take a turn and look at the thematic elements of the song. And that bridging statement lets me know that I'm done talking about this, and now I'm going to come over here and talk about the next body point. Then when you're done with that body point, again, we should hear another bridging statement. Some sort of post that lets us know we're progressing. So now that we understand some of the key thematic elements and the story elements of this lyric, we can now examine exactly how this song relates back to my own life and represents a person in my life. And so we hear this transition, right? However you want to connect it back to you. And then you dive into the details of body point 3. Those transition statements are often overlooked in this type of speech, so I'm encouraging you here in this video to make sure that you have them. Another note about the conclusion, make sure that you are summarizing, and as part of that summary, I will be looking for a specific mention back to each of your 3 body points. So letting us know that you covered the artist, the themes, the connection. That's going to be something specifically I look for. I'm going to post some additional examples of the Musical Me speech into our course shell. So on the left-hand side, again, there's a course video tab, and in that tab I do have a folder that has some example Musical Me speeches. If you have not looked at those, I would encourage you to do so, but I will try and add some more current speeches. I had some pretty good speeches in my face-to-face class this term, and so I'll be trying to post those in the next 24 to 48 hours as you, again, finalize and finish up some of the things that you are working on for this speech. Don't forget that you need to have an outline. Your outline is due on the day of your presentation. Bring that in with you before your presentation. Class starts at 6 o'clock again this coming Monday, so I look forward to seeing those of you who will be here at 6 o'clock for those presentations. We will again go straight through all of those presentations as kind of quickly and as orderly as we possibly can. So, patience and being good audience members is greatly appreciated. We will also have those peer evaluations for the next round of speeches as well. I did email back and scan and email back feedback from the first presentations, so many of you should have gotten those. If your video was not submitted in the correct format, you did not turn your video in by the deadline, clearly you didn't meet the minimum criteria for the presentation, so there was no feedback to provide for you based on that. For those of you that were there in class last time, you should have that. If you have questions or concerns, please let me know. Felt like it was pretty straightforward as far as some areas where you could have improved, whether it was the amount of eye contact that you gave your audience, whether it was the amount of vocal fillers you used. There were some really clear points that I think some of you would have noticed where you could begin to improve for the next speech. My guess is if you looked at your own video, some of what I said is going to coincide and match up with what you saw when you watched your own video. All right, I'm going to stop the video for now. This is probably long enough at this point, but it does very much hit some of the key points that you need to know to be successful for the Musical Me speech. I look forward to seeing you all very shortly. Have a great weekend.